All right, we're going to carry on with part 5 of creating the graphical user interface. What I did was I just went in and modified these two buttons at the bottom from the last video, and simply just went in there and typed in that it's a button. It's a clear button. I changed the text, and I did the exact same thing for the exit button as well. So you can pause the video and do that with yours. So in this video, we want to focus in on how to take it to the next step. So you may remember from the life cycle, we're going to take a look at designing the programming logic. So let's have a look at designing the program logic in this programming life cycle now. And what we want to do is the logic is when I click on this button, I want this to disappear. So if you look at how it starts originally, this is how the program starts in its original format. And this text over here doesn't even appear to begin with. So, but when I click this, it then takes this label and displays it. So that, what I'm talking about there is really the designing the program logic there is how it's going to perform. All right, so let me go back into the program here. So to start off, this particular hello world here, right here, is to start off with is not visible. So when I run the program, it doesn't do anything. But if I was to run the program right now, if I click on start, so if I click on start, it's going to compile this program for the first time. It's going to set the folders, it's going to create the executable file, and it's going to basically give me an application that looks just like this right here. So it takes a couple seconds for the first time to do that, and here's the program itself. So there it is right there. If I click on these buttons, nothing happens because I haven't coded anything. It's just in its native state here from the form. So I'm trying to understand the logic of the program, and that is when I click on the button, I want this label control to be displayed. So to start off with, I don't want it there in the first place. So what I want to do is take this label control here and make it invisible to start off with. So to do that, that's a property. So if I was to go down to the properties and they're alphabetic order here, we can actually turn that one off. So I'm going to say here, let's take the property right here and make the visible property false, which basically tells the computer, don't show that. So if I run this program now, I recompile it, and I look at the application, what's going to happen is that label control is invisible. And I want to do the same thing for the second one too. So let's do that. Let's go back in. Let's click on Hello World 2 label and go down to the bottom of the property and say visible is now false. So I can double click it, make it, or I can pull down menu. And that's setting those two up. That's giving us the ability now to start to code Hello World 1 command button. All right, so to do that, this is the next kind of major step in the life cycle. So if we go back to our life cycle, is we want to go into writing the code now. So writing the code would entail going into a particular object, and we're going to program it, hence object-oriented programming. So how to do that is to simply just click on the object that you want to code, and the computer comes up with the precise location of where you enter your code into. So at the top here, you've got the form, that's the .cs, that's the C# coding language. You've got the program, which we don't need at the moment. I'm going to close that. And we have the design. So it's between the code and the design. So I want to see both at the same time. What I do is I grab that tab there and I drag it onto my screen and I kind of partition my screen. This helps me better organize and lay out my environment. So now I've got this particular Hello World 1 command button, and I've got the code window to start typing it out. All right, what you're looking at, and this might look somewhat familiar from the last class example that we did, where we had all of our use cases up at the top, and we'll decide that, and our namespace of the major solution. This is our chapter 2 in class exercise. And then we have our program that we're working on. This is the form, this project here, and then we have specific methods that we're going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause there, and we're going to come back and we're going to actually code this particular button.